One of the most under-the-radar characters in Project M, and for those who don't know, I'm talking about Olimar. Olimar began his debut in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and actually Olimar was a very good character in Brawl. He was the third best character in the game, which is kind of surprising when most people, when they talk about Brawl, they usually talk about Meta Knight or Ice Climbers. But actually Olimar was right behind both of those characters. He was really good because he had an absurd amount of super armor on most of his moves, and he had a really good range, and he had a really good projectile game. He was really good at camping, and having good range can set you far above any other character in Brawl because most characters struggle with having good range. Also in Brawl, Olimar had 6 Pikmin, which is a crazy amount of Pikmin because right now in Project M he only has 4, and in every other Smash game after Brawl he only had 3. And the Pikmin had a crazy amount of health on top of that, so he was really good. So how did Olimar do in Project M? Not nearly as well, to be honest. Olimar went from being a top 3 character in Brawl to being bottom 3 in Project M. Now, it doesn't mean Olimar is a bad character by any stretch of the means, but they basically made Olimar a much less busted character, and that was their main goal. Super armor on his down B was kind of busted and it was removed. Ironically, Project M made the change of dumbing down the Pikmin count before Smash 4 did. Olimar's Pikmin count went from 6 to 4 Pikmin in Project M. However, there is much more nuance to his character. Instead of just running away and spamming Pikmin, each Pikmin now has a different attribute to each of them to separate them. Blue Pikmin excels at being thrown. Red Pikmin excels in damage. Yellow Pikmin excel at combo damage and range. White Pikmin cause poison damage and explode which helps his combo game a lot. And of course the iconic purple Pikmin with their high amount of power and knockback. So Olimar is more about Pikmin optimization, so you can get the best amount of Pikmin for a given situation. It's normally recommended to have as much Pikmin as possible in case you lose them quickly in a given situation, but some will try to pick certain Pikmin for their team. A lot of people will have a team of purple and red Pikmin because those are the more stronger Pikmin. You know, a lot of times people will throw the Pikmin off the stage so they can cycle through them. Over time, each Pikmin will grow a flower bud and then a full flower over time, and that means the Pikmin is increasing its knockback and power ever so slightly. So you can down B as well, and it makes your Pikmin come quickly to you, and it can allow you to have greater control. Olimar has a lot of changes compared to his Brawl iteration. Another thing I should note is they changed his up B. He can still use his side B to get an extra jump height to recover, but his up B no longer is a tether. And this coincides with Project M's attempt at nerfing tethers, because for a while tethers were really broken, to the point where people would call Project M Project Recovery. However, they changed Olimar's recovery by completely removing his original up B, and changed it to a different up B that's no longer a tether. This is probably one of the biggest nerfs to the character because his recovery is really bad, and has always been bad ever since this change. In Project Plus, they tried to make it more safe and have less end lag, but honestly, in my opinion, this is one of the worst up Bs in the game. I feel like his old recovery was much better, in my opinion. Olimar is a bait and punish character. He doesn't really have strong approach options, but has really strong punish game, especially if you have the purple Pikmin out specifically. He actually can tech chase really well, which is something not many people expect out of the character, but his throws are actually really good, of course if you hit them. Most of his throws, like his down throw, are actually combo throws and are really good at potentially even chain grabs as well. His smash attacks are also crazy strong. His forward smash can be used off stage to edge guard too, and his aerials are also pretty decent depending on your Pikmin lineup, of course. Purple Pikmin gives Olimar a Sheik-esque forward air, and it's pretty hard hitting, I'm not gonna lie. Purple Pikmin are really good on Olimar, so you'll see a lot of Olimar mains. They'll try to have as many purple Pikmin as possible because they're actually really good. They're the strongest in the bunch. His moves have quite a bit of end lag if missed, He's actually pretty decent at edge guarding off stage because he has really strong aerials, but remember though, his recovery isn't the best. So I would recommend for any Olimar main to learn combos, learn the strings for the character, for different weights, you know, learn the chain throws, learn the tech chase, because Olimar actually does have really good combo strings. It's just like he's a really underrepresented character, so, you know, just like any other character in the game, I would recommend practicing a lot. Olimar isn't a bad character though. I feel he's definitely can rise up on the tier list. He's pretty underrated in my opinion. He has a pretty decent neutral and combo game, just a really bad recovery, and he's really bad at survivability. If mastered though, I feel like he can definitely rise up in the tier list because I feel like he's probably one of the most underrepresented characters in the meta.